I will ask if you would silence your cell phones so we're not interrupted. We are back after some lengthy time off here, as you guys all know, with the COVID situation. And I think this is our first meeting since February. So we're obviously a little bit different here, being at the auditorium, and I'll try to explain maybe just some of the subtle changes that are going to take place. So I will start, though, by introducing our board. To my right is the clerk, Ken Scholes. I have Bob Signetti back right, Becky Kilborn, Jeff Sauer, and our two alternates, Ken Gervinian, who had himself a little accident, but he's here. Thank you. And Corinne Doherty down all the way to the end. Myself, I'm John Bowner. I'm the chairman. And we have a guest star from the Code Administration Department today, Mr. Dave Harris, and Building Inspector Rich Maloney, and Kathleen Archibald, our everything person. So thank you and welcome. Everyone, our last minutes were February 24th, and if I could get a motion on those.
So moved.
I got a motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so folks, we're practicing social distancing here inside, and thank you for paying attention to all the rows that are blocked off. We're going to ask applicants to come to the podium to present, and when we call for public comment, we're going to ask you to come to this microphone over here to the right. Sorry, your right, my left. And then please exit. So we're just going to kind of have one flow here in the auditorium. In between cases, we'll allow a little time for our building inspector to kind of wipe down microphones and stuff. So we'll go a little slower than normal. And also, if anybody needs any disinfectant or wipes or anything, there's some around the auditorium here. The way our procedure works is our clerk will read the case. We'll ask an applicant for that case to come up and present. At that point in time, I will go to the board, and they will direct questions to the applicant at that time. Once the board has finished asking questions of the applicant, we'll go out to the audience, and again, that's when you would come up and speak at that microphone only, and direct your questions to myself, the chair, and we'll redirect those to the applicant as needed. Once that process is complete, we'll close the public discussion, and we will go back to the board for deliberations, and that's the beauty of the open meeting law. You hear our deliberations here live right in front of you. And then we'll give you a series of options to the applicant depending on how the votes sound like they're going to go. And I think that's it. Did I get everything, people? I feel like I'm up here on an island without you.
I know.
We're behind you.
All right.
Actually can hear you better.
100%.
Behind me 100%. Okay. Well, so again, it's a little different than normal, but we're going to do our best. We are the first board to finally open and get things rolling in the town of Danvers, so we're happy to get going again. So with that said, could I go to the clerk for our first case?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first case is Susan M. Prentice Trust, docket 20-4847, requesting a variance and finding to replace commercial buildings with one multifamily residential building in accordance with section 3.10.3 and table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 141 Pine Street. Mr. Chairman, I am in receipt of a letter. Dear board members, on behalf of the applicant 141 Pine Street LLC, I hereby request to withdraw the above referenced pending application without prejudice. Thank you for your cooperation. Attorney Nancy A.S. McCann.
Okay. Could I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That case is done. We'll go to our first continued case, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John Gardner, docket 20-4852, requesting a special permit for an oversized extended family living area. The lot is undersized in accordance with section 9.3.3.3 and 9.3.3.2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 10 Delaware Avenue.
Hi, and Mr. Gardner, feel free to remove your mask so we can hear you clearly. I went back and reviewed these minutes, because of course, the last time you before us was February 24th. And just looking at it, it looks like the board in general was just, thought that the size on this was too large. I know you sent in an updated drawing, and I just want to be clear, I think we were at a square footage of 1058 for this EFLA, and you've now reduced that to 994, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you can take it from there, and then maybe highlight some of the things you changed.
Basically, I changed the length and the width of the overall
I
addition.
can't
If you
hear
could
him.
speak into the mic and a
sorry.
little louder.
Basically, I changed the length and the width of the overall addition
By how much?
by 5 feet.
Both length and width?
Yes.
Okay. Anything inside, any changes inside, or just the overall
Just the
structure?
overall. The only thing, we moved some closets around, but that was about it.
Okay, is that it?
I believe so.
Okay, I'll go to the board for questions. Why don't we start over there with you, Mr. Signetti?
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you reduced it, you got it under 1,000. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Bob. We'll go to you, Becky.
We got a new plan for the inside, but, the site plan, could we, I don't think we got a new site plan. Can we see the
I-
changes on a site plan?
The site is basically the same. It's just the overall size of it has been reduced. I did submit the site plan.
You submitted a new site plan?
Yes.
All right, so maybe maybe this is the new one.
I also thought it was
I
this.
thought, I didn't think I got a new site plan. What
Ooh.
is that?
I keep hitting Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have a site.
I don't
All we
have, we
is
don't
the
have site
original
plans.
one
Is it? You want this?
All we have is this.
From November 2019.
Let me go to the building inspector.
Can we,
Is there,
can he draw on this, or can we?
Well, if you vote the, do you want this?
I have that.
Yeah, I have this. Yeah, from November 2019?
Correct. Yeah, but he made the changes internally, so,
No, I thought he said he changed it 5 feet, either way.
inside.
Well, how could he change the inside if he didn't change the outside?
Well,
Yeah.
he just leaves it to the regular house, I guess.
Here's my packet. I don't know if you want to submit this one. Rich? He has one here. I'm not sure if it got submitted, but we can put this into the record.
could I get a look at that, Rich? Or maybe Becky first, since it's her question?
Or just read us the dimensions.
Well, what a pain this is.
Go ahead, Becky.
Okay, so on the L, the top is 25 instead of 29. It comes down, it's 36, just so everybody can follow.
Yep.
Coming across where it was 71, it's 67. Coming back up, it's still 17.6, and coming across, it's 15.
So it's actually a 4-foot reduction and a
So-
5-foot
so
reduction.
Two dimensions changed, that 29 to 25 and 71 to,
So you cut 4 feet
67.
off the back.
4 feet each way, not 5.
what's this?
Thank you.
I don't think I have any other questions right now, thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Becky.
you.
We'll go to you, Ken.
I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ken. Jeff?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. And Ken?
I have no questions.
Thank you. And Corinne?
I have no questions.
Okay. So, Mr. Gardner, I just want to be clear, because you said 5 feet, but it's actually 4, correct?
I think I was adding in the width of the walls, which will be 6 inches.
Okay. And is there any overhang on the front of the building or the, I guess that would be the rear of the, I'm sorry, the right-hand side or the rear? The sides that you reduced, is there overhangs?
No, the property meets all the setbacks, 20 feet on each side, 30 feet in the back. And it's actually
103, I think.
35 from the front, something like that, 40.
Okay, any additional questions from the board?
No.
Nope.
None. I will go to the public, and if I could just have you come to this side and to that microphone, and then exit that way. Yes, please, I think. It's hard for, you'll have to forgive me, I can't see the road out there too well. And please feel free to remove your mask to speak, if. Can you hear me okay? We
Yeah.
can't. Is that microphone on? Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matthew W., town meeting member, precinct 1. I'd first like to say thank you for making the effort. I want to thank you for making the effort to have this meeting in public. First board, I think, that's made the effort to do that.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. First, by right, 750 square feet for an EFLA.
That is correct.
So this is a third larger than what's allowed by right. So what is the common area between the existing structure and the new, and the EFLA itself? Laundry room, whatever.
There's a laundry room and an office in a hallway.
Laundry room, office, and hallway.
All right. And I think I heard there's no variance required.
No, this is a special permit for an EFLA.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, if you could, come this way. Thank you. We might need a detail officer to direct traffic. Any additional comment from the public? Seeing none, and if I miss you, please make crazy hands or something, because it's hard for me to see you out there. Okay, I'll go back to the board and go with you, Bob.
I don't have a problem with this. They reduced the size. I will vote for this.
Thank you, Bob. Becky?
I'm fine with this. Thank you for adjusting the size.
Okay, Becky, thanks. And Ken?
And I would vote for this as it is, thank you.
And Jeff?
I will vote for this.
And Ken?
I would vote for this, too.
And Corinne?
I would not vote for this. I still think it's too big. I think they should have pared back even more.
Thank you, Corinne. And I, too, will not vote for this. I think it's just too much house on that lot. I don't see a reduction of 4 feet enough. But you do have the votes, and if I could get a motion, please.
I move to grant the special permit in accordance with section 9.3.3.2 and 9.3.3.3 of the Danvers zoning bylaw for an extended family living area on an undersized lot and oversized in area respectively as shown on the drawing. The municipal water and sewer shall not be overloaded by the EFLA. The public streets shall not be overloaded by the EFLA. The value of other buildings and properties shall not be depreciated. The specific site is an appropriate location for the EFLA. The EFLA will not adversely affect the neighborhood. There will not be undue nuisance to vehicles or pedestrians, and adequate and proper facilities will be provided to ensure the proper operation of the proposed EFLA. The proposed EFLA will be in harmony with the general purpose of the bylaw.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Okay, 4-1. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, yes. And folks, if you could just give us a few minutes and we'll get set up again for the next. Sorry, Rich, I gotta find it now. Yeah, I'll get it. Carefully. That's the site. Dave, are you like Vanna White? Okay, so we'll go to the top now. Does Rich want us to wait until he's back in? You think we're good, or? Okay. All right, folks, we'll go on to our next case. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first regular case is Richard Goff, docket number 20-48454, requesting a finding to alter a non-conforming multifamily structure to add sun porch to existing deck in accordance with section 3.11.2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 47 Collins Street, Unit 77. This is zoned R1.
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Goff, good evening. Oh, sorry, Mr. Richard, is it?
Richard Goff.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So I'm looking to take an existing deck and enclose it to a four-season environment as part of a formal house. Something that's been done probably about 30 to 40 or so units inside of Old Salem Village. On the existing 16 by 8 pad, not looking to, there are no extensions or anything, it's gonna be on the existing footprint.
Okay, that's about the extent of it.
That's about the extent of it.
Yeah, and I see there's a letter here from your condo association saying they're okay with it,
Yes,
and your management company as well.
yes.
Very good. Okay, we'll start down there with you, Corinne.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ken?
I don't have any questions either.
And Jeff?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. Becky?
I don't have any questions.
Oh, I guess I skipped over you. Sorry.
No.
Bob?
Yeah, we've done these before. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem.
Okay.
That's down at Old Salem Village. He's not the first one.
Right. And Ken?
I agree. I have no questions.
And I don't have any questions either. I visited your site yesterday. Do we have any questions or comments from the public on the address of 47 Collins? Seeing none, we'll come back to the board for deliberations. And Corinne?
I would vote for this.
Thank you. And Ken?
I would vote for this too.
And Jeff?
I will vote for this.
And Ken again?
I will vote for this.
And Becky?
I will vote for this. This is, as Bob said, similar to others that we've approved. in the
Yes.
past.
And Bob?
I have no problem with this.
And I too would vote for this. I've been driving around your complex there. I see it's been done a number of times. So, could I get a motion, please?
I move to grant the finding in accordance with section 3.11.2B of the Danvers zoning bylaw to add a sunroom in place of existing deck per the plan submitted.
I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second?
Seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate the board.
There's a hand up out there, John.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, sir. If you could just speak up so I can hear you.
Forgive me for not going to the mic. Can they move their mics? Not all of them are speaking into it. Some sound,
Move them closer to the,
whatever it takes so that their voice can be easily heard.
sure.
Put the mic down here where the applicant stands.
Yeah, pull that maybe to, yeah, there you go. You talking just the podium, or you talking the board as well?
The podium and a couple of the mics.
Okay, if board members, if you could just try
Can you
and
hear me okay, Mr. Bradstreet?
I can hear you.
just get a sound check.
I'm a loud guy anyway, so.
Can you hear me?
Ken, can you
Let's do 'em one
just
at
do
a
a
time.
test on yours?
Hello, can you hear me? Test, test, 1, 2.
You just don't, if you don't have to lean into the mic, we won't just want to hear normal conversation.
Okay. Nothing's normal anymore.
So is this normal?
New normal.
That's fine.
Is that good?
The new normal.
This is the new normal,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. I know it's, so we're here one more meeting, and then, from what I understand, we're gonna move to Holton Richmond, so once we get this down, they're gonna uproot us and we'll start over again, but I'm sure we'll muddle through it. Are we good to go? We're good to go. Mr. Clerk, if we could, the next
Thank you,
case.
Mr. Chairman, moving along. Michael and Kerry Gagnon, docket 20-4855, requesting a variance to remove an existing non-conforming garage and erect a new garage with same footprint and add a breezeway in accordance with Section 7, Table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 11 Loris Road, zoned R2.
Hi, good evening. If you could, just announce who you are and your address.
We're Mike Gagnon, and
Harry Gagnon, 11 Loris Road.
Okay, and tell us what you'd like to do.
so the goal has been to, we have a detached garage right now that's non-conforming.
Just come a little closer to the mic. There
Oh,
you go.
sorry. Detached garage that's non-conforming. It goes, I think, 7 feet into the side yard, kind of like a lot of what's going on over there at Loris Road. The goal is to, what we want to do is attach that garage to the current structure with kind of a breezeway utility room. When we started looking at it, though, we found that the garage, which was built in '62, is crumbling. It's leaking, windows broken, the concrete floors are all cracked, and we got water coming up. It's not really ideal for storage, and it didn't make a lot of sense to put a new structure and attach to that old structure. So this thing sort of expanded, the expansion being, okay, if we're gonna do the attachment, we'll need to put on a new garage, because at that point, it makes more sense, then we have a whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything is good integrity. So what we're asking to do then is basically take down what we have there now and build the new garage and shed on the same footprint of what exists out there right now. And then once we have that, it'll be attached with that breezeway, so we'll have an attached garage. And then kind of the second part of this project is we're looking to put a pool out in back, an in-ground pool. We've never been able to do it before, but now we'll have a moment when that first garage and shed comes down to put that pool up and back. Once that's done, we'll fence it all in, and then we'll put in the new garage with the shed and the attached.
Okay, and just to be clear, though, you're only here on tearing down the garage and rebuilding the
Right.
new one,
That's
but
right.
connecting it to the house via a breezeway.
That's right.
Breezeway.
The pool is all going to be conforming. It's all going to be set. But
Okay. Okay, is that it? Anything else?
that's it.
Okay, we'll go to you, Bob.
I see your old garage. It's got, what, a 2-foot setback, side setback?
It's, I think there's 6 feet between the lot line and where the garage is right now, or 5.5,
Well, I see 2 points.
Just a little shed.
Oh, that's
That's
the
a shed,
shed?
yeah.
It's a little shed thing that sticks out.
Oh, no, that's coming down. You mean out in the way back?
That will be
Oh, all right.
That's gonna get knocked down.
All right, that's not your old garage. That's.
No,
that's-
no, no,
that's-
no.
That's a shed.
If you're looking at the plot plan,
I am.
you'll see what's called the proposed addition.
Yeah.
That footprint, minus the thing between the house, that footprint, 36 feet by 12 feet, that's what's currently there right now. So we're gonna take that down and put up the same thing, basically, exact same footprint, but just a new structure.
Okay. I got you. That confused me, that little 2.2-foot setback, but that's a different building. That's a
Yep,
shed.
that's coming down anyways.
All right, I have no other questions.
Thank you, Bob. Becky?
I was able to get in all of those trees and weeds and everything with your neighbor and actually see what was in there, so.
Yep.
I see that you're actually gonna be pulling it in a little bit. The height of the garage the new garage will be the same height as the existing garage?
Yeah, we wanted to.
You're not going any higher?
No, we're not. There was a time when we were talking about maybe a second story, but we didn't want to do that. We talked to our next door neighbor, and I think he's happy with the height as it is, and that's
Yeah.
where we're gonna leave it.
Yeah, okay, all right. And you actually will stay within the same dimensions of the lot line as you are. Those are tight lots. you
Yeah,
know.
it's gonna stay exactly the same.
Okay,
Actually, that's right. There's actually a little overhang that comes off, that actually goes far, in the back on the shed there. It actually goes farther than what we have when we do the new structure. So that overhang is gonna come off, and it's just
Okay.
gonna be a straight wall back there.
okay.
And actually, that little section that you saw with all the, the stuff, that's gonna be a walkway, so it'll be a much cleaner spot for Aaron and Gretchen, our next door neighbors.
Okay, okay, so you have a walkway there.
Yes,
Yeah, you can't get through there now.
that's right.
Right, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Ken?
Thank you. Becky asked my questions, thank you. No questions.
She's been waiting 5 months to
I know.
talk. so.
She's on the same wavelength as me.
Jeff, we'll go to you.
Mr. Chairman, all my questions have been answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And Ken?
Mine have been answered too. I'm all set.
Thank you. And Corinne?
I just have one question. I see at the back of the lot, there is, an indication relocate existing shed. Is that the shed that right now is next to the garage?
No, that shed's actually back there. It's a little plastic shed, about 4 feet by 6 feet. That's actually coming down. That's going into a dumpster. So what's gonna happen is, this fence, there's gonna be all fenced in because of the pool. That's just gonna be clean back there. There's gonna be no shed, just white fence all around. In fact, we've talked to our next door neighbors, and we're gonna be sharing the same style of fence, so it's gonna sort of all work together.
Okay,
But
all right.
that structure it's coming down.
Yeah, I was wondering why it was like cutting the fence.
Yeah, no, we put, right now, there's no fence or anything back there. It's just all woods. And we've got a little above-ground pool there right now, and that was the utility shed for the pool.
Okay,
But it's no more use, so we're
So
just gonna
that'll
get
go
rid of
away.
it.
okay,
Yep.
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks, Corinne. I don't think I have any questions. Mine also were asked. You're not changing the setback in any way, and really you're just connecting the structure to the house.
That's right.
And you're keeping the height the same,
Height's gonna stay the same.
and you're cleaning up a lot of things.
We're cleaning up.
And you're gonna get a nice pool out of it. Okay. Okay, any further questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll go to the public. Do we have any questions from the audience? And I don't think I see any hands, so I think we're good. We'll come back to you, Bob.
I have no problem with this.
Thank you, Bob. Becky?
I'm fine with this.
And Ken?
I'm fine. The footprint's staying the same. I'll vote for this.
Very good. And Jeff?
I will vote for this.
And Ken?
I'd vote for this.
And Corinne?
I would vote for this.
And I too will vote for this, and I do want to thank you. I know that neighborhood is one of the smaller zoned R1s, and I commend you for staying within kind of the look and feel of that neighborhood. So I think your neighbors will be real happy with what you're doing here. So could I get a motion?
I move that we grant the dimensional variance from section 7, table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaw to tear down a non-conforming garage and rebuild as submitted on the drawings. The hardship is the size, shape of the lot, and the location of the existing dwelling on the lot.
I'll second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Good luck. Were you trying to get the pool in for this summer?
Well, yeah, but that's
Well, we're a
okay.
little delayed,
That's
but
all right.
hey,
That's all right.
maybe by Labor Day.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very good. Dave, you remember Pulp Fiction, right? They had the guy who was the cleaner. That's you.
Oh, Mr. Fox,
Yes,
Harvey
you're
Keitel.
the cleaner. Making everything right. All right, we're doing pretty good here, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Loxley, okay. I think, Dave, you good over there? Kathleen? We're all set? Mr. Clerk, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next case, Scott Wynn, docket 20-4856, requesting a special permit to create an oversized extended family living area per 9.3.3.3 in accordance with section 9.3 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 10 Loxley Road, zoned R2.
Is somebody here on 10 Loxley? Yeah, come on up to the mic. Identify yourself and tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening. My name is Scott Wynn. I live at 10 Loxley Road. I'm here tonight to apply, and with this application, we are requesting relief for this project through a special permit to create an oversized in-law apartment. The in-law apartment we wish to pursue totals at 874 square feet, and it will have the internal access and circulation to the main home as required by the bylaws.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Is that kind of about the size of it?
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay,
It's
thank you.
pretty straightforward.
Before I turn it over to the board, I just had one myself. So I did site visit to your property. Are you planning to do a foundation here?
Yes.
And what's the, I noticed you have ledge or granite
Yes.
there. Is that removable via backhoe or blasting, or how will that come out?
It'll come out by jackhammer.
Okay,
And then after it is down, I believe the code was 3 feet, and then a slab's going to be poured on top.
okay. And I also noticed on the drawing, are you coming forward with the house? Are you encompassing what's now, looks like a little porch?
So if you can envision, the in-law is actually going to come it's going to come 5 feet forward of the front of the house, and then there's going to be a farmer's porch that's going to tie into the
Okay, all right, yeah,
the
I
in-law.
did see that, okay. Okay, well, let me turn it over to the board. Is that it? You good?
I'm good.
Okay, Corinne, we'll start down there with you.
I'm looking at the plans that you submitted. So I'm assuming that your common space is the laundry room?
It is actually, right now, it is actually my kid's playroom, but it is going to become an office for our house and for my father-in-law. It's going to have the circulation through both dwellings.
Okay, so, and where exactly is that on the plan, where the office is gonna be? Like, which one of these rooms will be that office?
Is it where the washer dryer is?
Is it
Probably
where,
there.
like, next to the washer dryer?
So right in front of the washer dryer to the left, that is going to be a door that flows into our current existing home, our existing home.
But the area that's in front of where the washer and dryer is, that's where the office is, that will be the common space?
No, that is the door that is going to connect to our existing house. That area is just an open area as you enter. So, as I was describing, the in-law is going to be 5 feet forward, and the farmer's porch is going to tie the two together. That's going to be the additional entryway into the in-law, a separate entryway. And right behind that door, as you can see, to the left is another, it's gonna be an entryway into our existing home. That's gonna be a shared office.
Okay, yeah, that's what she said, okay, yes.
So.
In front of the washer dryer.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Corinne. Ken?
So you're keeping the setbacks, the front 30 and then the side 15?
Yes.
And that's within the confines of the table 2, so we're good. All right. I have no other questions.
Thank you, Ken. Jeff?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess I'm a little confused on the common area here. So the room that's below the washer dryer on this picture is part of the EFLA itself,
It's
right?
part of it.
This slot here, this room?
Yeah.
This is part of the EFLA? The extended family living area?
That's an entryway, so right where your pen is, if you go down a little bit, right there, that's.
Coming in off the porch?
Yeah, that's coming off the porch. And as you go into that open area, that's almost like a mudroom, if you will.
Okay.
But right to the left is going to be the entry into our existing home, right there,
Here.
exactly. And that's going to be a shared office for our family and my father-in-law.
Okay. I don't know if I'd really call that a common area, but, so the total dimensions are 33 by 26.6, correct?
Yes.
Of the EFLA,
That's 878, by the way.
878.
874?
878.
Okay.
Oh, you
Well,
calculated that out, 878?
I did. And
Okay.
His drawing says 870.
he's saying
Thank you.
874, so,
Yep.
which is fine, but
Okay. I have no further questions, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Becky?
so I couldn't really see. I need a little help here. I'm so far back here.
Yeah.
So where is the office? There's some.
I believe, I think we've got it now. So the office is where this washer dryer is. In front of that, he's calling this mudroom office area, and the entrance to that is off this farmer's porch. The entrance to his unit is once you come inside.
Okay.
And then this is the common area, he's calling the common area, and this is the whole area.
Okay, so I guess we need, usually we have a highlight around the area that's considered the EFLA. And so you're basically, this whole addition on the right is what you counted in the 874 square feet? Is that right? But part of that you're saying is gonna be common area?
There is an opening that is going to be created to flow into our current existing home. And that's right in front of the washer dryer.
That doorway.
That doorway
Yeah.
is going to flow into our existing house. Right now, there is a window there which is going to become just a door that is
Okay.
going to flow right into the new addition.
I take it as they're gonna put the office here, through this doorway.
On the inside?
Yeah. That's the way I'm interpreting.
Rich, can you help a little, please?
What would you like?
So
Clarification.
we usually have a highlighted area that's the EFLA?
The whole addition is the EFLA.
The whole addition is the EFLA, so what is the common area?
Well, it's not really, don't be confused by the common area. It's internal access. That
It's, okay,
It doesn't necessarily, we promote that,
okay,
clearly. A lot of people do it. Makes everybody feel a lot better, making sure they're not separated units, but it's really the term in the bylaw is internal circulation and access.
okay, so I'm reading the bylaw, it says maintains internal access and circulation to the dwelling unit.
Right, and he has that door, satisfies that.
Okay,
But again, we've been promoting shared spaces, but again, he's satisfying the bylaw.
okay, so the entire addition
Is
is
the
where
EFLA.
we're getting the 874 square feet?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little smaller because the existing chimney cuts into that space. I mean, if you take the footprint,
Yes,
it's a little smaller than that because there's an exterior chimney on the structure now that
oh, I see.
That's
That
gonna
gets
stay.
bumps-
We'll
bumps
take 4
into
feet
it.
out.
Okay,
down.
Okay.
okay, so that's how you, all right, the
That's how they get to the
874.
7.4.
So 750 is allowed and you're at 870. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Becky. Jeff?
I think you're going the other way.
Oh, yeah?
No? Okay.
No.
No, I have no questions, thank you.
Hey, it's hard enough up here, come
Uh,
on. Before I jump over to Ken,
Bob, wait a minute, John.
wait, am I going the wrong way?
Yeah,
I am going the wrong way.
yeah, I'm
I'm
last.
sorry. So, Bob?
Who's actually gonna live in this EFLA?
My father-in-law is going to be in the,
Okay. So we just wanna make sure it's a relative.
oh, I saw.
All right, I have no other questions.
All right, and did I go to you already?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
thank you, madam.
I want to go to the building inspector for a minute. So, Rich, I know one of the restrictions is not having 2 front doors on a dwelling. This seems to, although it doesn't face the front of the house, there is 2 front doors here, so,
The idea is to look from the street.
the look from the street, okay, so,
We have allowed these,
so because this door doesn't face the street, we're,
the idea was to eliminate that look of, two units attached. when they-
so it still looks as a single dwelling? Okay, well, that was my question. All right, I'm sorry if I messed up the order here.
That's
Did everybody get their questions? That's what I want to know. Okay, I'll go out to the audience. Anybody have public comment on 10 Loxley, and this is for an EFLA, oversized EFLA special permit? Mr. Bradstreet, come on up and come to this mic, and you are a former officer, so I think you'll get the flow.
We miss you.
Yeah, thanks, I missed this. Bill Bradstreet, town meeting member, precinct 1. I didn't hear it mentioned, however, in the past, this EFLA will show on the deed as an EFLA
Yeah,
after the house.
That is correct.
I didn't hear it said.
Comes with a
That's the
deed
only reason.
restriction.
So that when the house is sold, it can't be used as an apartment, it has to stay an EFLA.
I believe they have 2 years to act on it.
No, they're required, when the sale of the house happens, they're required, it's in the deed, that they have to notify us within 30 days whether they're gonna use the EFLA or not use it. If they don't use it, we require the kitchen to come out.
Thank you. Helps
Okay.
clarify it.
Any additional questions?
And they have to do that in writing, and we keep a record of that in our office.
I like the writing and the record kept, thank you.
Come on through this way.
In front
please.
here,
See, now at board meetings, you get a little exercise, so this is good. All right, it's good for all. Any additional questions from the public? All right, hearing none, let me see if I can get this right. Back to you, Corinne.
I just have one more question.
One more question before we deliberate. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out, because it's not labeled, where, I see where the kitchen is, because I see the stove, I see the shower, washer, dryer. Where exactly is the bedroom?
that big square on the right.
The 13 by 6 and 15, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's the bedroom.
Yep.
So the spot in the middle is like a sitting room? Like a living room?
The-
Sitting room?
The upper right, ma'am, is the living space. The bottom right is the bedroom area.
Okay,
Does that do it for you, Corinne?
yes.
And this is just a one level, right? Not a
That's
second
correct.
floor.
That's correct, just one
Yep.
level.
You good?
I am good. Thank
Okay,
you.
now we're going to deliberate, and now you're going to tell me what you like and don't like.
I'm on the fence because it's a little bit bigger. I'm gonna reserve judgment and wait to hear what others have to say.
Very good. Ken?
I would vote for this.
Thank you, Ken. And Jeff?
I will vote for this.
And Ken?
I'm okay with this.
And Becky?
I'm okay with this.
And Bob?
I vote for this.
And I too will vote for this. My curiosity was around how you get that rock and ledge out.
Could I say one thing, though?
You can say two things.
Okay. So, my only comment is that this is an extended family living area. It's for family. It's for somebody related to you. I have seen around town that people are applying for these. Maybe something happens within their family, it becomes available, and people are renting these. And I'm just gonna say, there's a deed restriction, and this is only for your family, it's not for rental, and I just want everybody to be clear on that.
That's a good point, Becky. So, yeah, I think people have been bold enough to advertise these, and the intent of the EFLA is, just as Becky stated, for family. And if those situations change, I guess we've never really had, Rich, anyone come and get rid of their EFLAs, correct? Due to a death or anything like that, right? I don't remember any.
Since 2007, I believe we have about 180 of them.
180, okay.
We have a spreadsheet running on them.
And so you understand the deed restriction and these things? Okay.
We just got a letter the other day, a house sold with an in-law, and they followed up and everything.
So they're doing pretty good with notifying.
They gave us a letter saying that they were gonna use the EFLA for its intended use. We take that letter and attach it to the original EFLA permit, so we have a record of every time it's sold. So if they do not contact us within 30 days, and then they have to come back to this board to get a special permit to reuse the EFLA.
Okay.
We haven't had any complaints, you know, we would only go out, we got complaints that they've got somebody renting a week. Haven't had any, so.
Okay. All right, well, you have the votes. If I could get a motion, please.
I move that we grant the special permit in accordance with section 9.3.3.3 of the Danvers zoning bylaw for an addition for an oversized extended family living area as shown on the drawings. The municipal water and sewer shall not be overloaded, the public street shall not be overloaded, the value of other buildings and properties shall not be depreciated, the specific sites and appropriate location for the EFLA. The EFLA will not adversely affect the neighborhood. There will not be undue nuisance to vehicles or pedestrians, and adequate and proper facilities will be provided to ensure the proper operation of this EFLA. The proposed EFLA will be in harmony with the general purpose of the bylaw.
I have a motion. Could I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, good luck, and
Good luck.
have a wonderful summer. Wish we could have got this done earlier for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, that was over by the high school.
Yeah,
That was right
that's
around
yeah, it had a separate mailbox.
separate address. Well, that was clearly where somebody bent it.
Well, I told
keep
you, I saw
hearing
it on
noises.
Craig, I saw them advertised on Craigslist.
Fell off the
He doesn't mind.
That was funny.
But we need housing badly, so, badly.
Okay, just give it a second here, Ken.
Probably town meeting, maybe grab this or something. I think maybe like if they had them both at the same time.
This is a funny lot. This one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's front setback all around.
Right.
Poor guy.
They got 17,
Oh, yeah.
15.
Let me go over to Dave there. Dave, we good? We're good. All right. Mr. Scholes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next case is Patrick Callahan, docket 20-4857, requesting a variance from front and side setbacks to install an in-ground pool in accordance with Section 7, Table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 51 North Shore Ave, and this is zoned R2.
Thank you. You must be.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Patrick Callahan, 51 North Shore Ave. Here requesting a variance for some setbacks. As you can see from the submitted documents, I have a rather unusual lot. Where
Yes.
I have 3 fronts and only 1 side. Due to those 30-foot setbacks on the side and mostly on the rear, it becomes impracticable to place an in-ground pool in with those setbacks. So we're just seeking that some relief from those setbacks to install an in-ground pool.
And I bet your hope was this pool would already be in right now, huh?
That is correct.
And then this whole COVID thing
I
happened.
have 4 children, and yes, they were
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Well, is that it? So you're looking for relief because you have multiple frontage setbacks, it looks like. Very odd lot there.
I will read that.
Indeed.
Okay, anything else to add to that?
No, it's pretty
That-
self-explanatory.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll start over there with you, Bob.
You know, I drove by there, you do have an odd-shaped lot, but boy, you got a lot of stuff going on in that yard.
Yes, our intent is to, if this goes through, is we're gonna either sell or move the swing set. So that won't be there anymore.
I mean, my first impression is, where's he gonna put the pool? And-
Yes, the
and,
swing set is really kind of, that area right in front of it is where the pool
Yeah.
would go.
Well, I see you, in a normal lot, you meet the setbacks. But anyway, that was my first impression. I went around the corner and I said, where's this pool gonna go? This is really cluttered. You had a couple of grills, I think, and a swing set, and I assume that's gonna go.
The grills will all be moved. I
Yeah.
do some competitive
Shed.
cooking and barbecuing from time to time, so.
And you got a shed there too?
I do have a shed, yes.
All right, I don't have any further questions. I just found that the lot was very busy.
Thank you, Bob. Becky?
I also went by and had the same impression, but I can see how you could squeeze a pool in there, so I don't have any questions, thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Ken?
Thank you. Is this one of those drop-in pools?
Yeah, fiberglass. It's built down in like Tennessee. They put it on the back end of a 18-wheeler and truck it up here and drop it right in.
Awesome. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Ken. And Jeff?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. And Ken?
I have no questions.
And Corinne?
Just one, what, type of fence are you gonna put around the pool?
I've contracted with a gentleman here in town, Brian Sweeney. He's going to put in a 6-foot vinyl fence. And he's already got in the works for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corinne. And I too went by your property, Mr. Callahan. I guess the only question I had, I see on your, on the plot plan, it does show a tree. But
That's
I'm
been
guessing that
removed.
tree's not there anymore?
Yeah, I had that removed
You did,
shortly after
okay.
I got the plot plan taken.
And, yeah, I guess, I think the board's asked my question, so I'm good. Any additional questions from the board? I'll go out to the audience. Anyone here on 51 North Shore Ave?
Mr. Chairman, I'm in receipt of a letter.
Oh, sure, sorry, go ahead.
Dear members, we do not object and favorably support the request of Patrick and Kerry Callahan's request of a variance from front and side setbacks to install an in-ground pool in accordance with Section 7, Table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 51 North Shore Ave. Thank you for your attention in this matter, Michael and Andrea Daly.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, of 36 North Shore.
36
Yes.
North Shore Ave, okay. Any comment or questions from the public on this applicant? Seeing none, we'll come back to the board. I think I started with you, Bob?
Yeah, I'll vote for this.
And Becky?
And I will also vote for this, and I appreciate your patience. I see your application was submitted February 28th, so 4 months ago.
That was just last week.
Seems it.
Feels like years ago.
Ken, go ahead.
I will vote for this. I think it's going to look good.
Thank you, Ken. And Jeff?
Yes, I will vote for this. It's a bummer having a front setback all around.
Yes, I can see the issue there. And Ken?
I'd vote for this.
And Corinne?
I would vote for this.
And I too would vote for this, and yeah, I did notice the application date of February. And I said, I bet they really wanted to have this in already, so. Thank you for bearing with us. And could I get a motion from the board, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the dimensional variance from Section 7, Table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaw from front setbacks of 30 feet to 17 feet to install a pool as submitted on the drawings. The hardship is the shape of the lot, and the lot has frontage on 3 sides.
I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, good luck. And hopefully you'll get it in before the summer's out.
Thank you very much.
Drop it in. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This is doing pretty good.
It's nice to draw.
It's not even 8 o'clock.
I was gonna say, it's only an hour.
It's zipping right along.
It's meant to be.
Even with Dave wiping down.
And then put the liner.
Did they, I was just worried they would tell people to wait too long to come, so. I like the senior center better.
I know.
Yeah.
This
John,
one looks
Yes.
Did you visit
You
this
see
site?
it in 1, 2.
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Because I'm interested to hear the comments on
Very much
Yeah.
as well.
It's cool.
Okay, Dave tells us we're good. Mr. Clerk, if you don't mind.
Foot to the left.
I don't think you heard you.
John, can you move your chair to, like a foot to the left?
I can.
Just- Thank you very much. That's good.
How's that?
Do you mind if I grab the mint?
It helps.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Mr. Clerk?
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next case is Stephen Viviano, docket 20-4858, requesting a variance and a finding to reconstruct a dwelling on an existing footprint in accordance with section 3.17 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 29 Brad Street Avenue. This is zoned R2.
Two.
Just get situated.
Good evening.
And you are?
Stephen Viviano.
Mr. Viviano, before you get going, I gotta say I'm a little confused
Yes, sir.
visiting this site and seeing a new building already erected, so please explain.
Yes, sir. I thank you all very much for being here, and I understand the state we're in, and I appreciate you
hear.
guys.
Yeah, come
Have-
right into that mic, please.
I appreciate you having this meeting. I had resided in Danvers on a different house I bought about 12 years ago. I lived there about 5 years myself, and then I moved out of Danvers. I got on the fire department in Revere and was required to move closer to there. This house I had bought, my probation period, I guess you can call it, is up, and I bought this house with hopes to do an addition onto it, second-story addition. Purchased the house, prepared a set of plans, submitted the plans to the building department, received a permit back to do the work. I unfortunately was away. I had planned a vacation about 12 months prior to starting construction here. I was away when the framers took part and did their thing. They did the demolition and the framing as well. So while I was away, I received a phone call that there were some compromised walls on the first floor, and the calls, were over the phone from thousands of miles away. I said, whatever needs to be fixed, repair it while we're doing it. Came home about probably 5 days later, went to the structure to find that the first floor walls were removed. The permit I had received, I had spoken with Rich and the building department several times before starting construction. My permit was to keep the first floor walls intact and do a second floor addition from there up. I did come home, the first floor walls had been replaced. I think the day after I got back, Rich had come by the house and left a stop work order. I had contacted Rich and asked him, what was the issue. He had explained to me that you could not take all the first floor walls down. You had, per my permit, I were to leave some of them, and of course, according to the bylaws of Danvers. So At that point, I put in a special permit or for a finding. The house, hopefully, like I said, will be for myself or for my father. Bought it, met all the zoning requirements, everything. Like I said, I did get a permit to construct what was going to be there, but I did not have a permit to do the first floor walls, and those were done. And that's why I'm here before you today. I will add the only good side to the first floor walls, the entire structure will be built to building code now and the energy code as well. I'll be able to put the proper insulation and everything. But the house will not exceed the original permit that was given. The house will not, the house meets all the zoning setbacks for the addition, and really made a mistake with allowing the framers to.
I think you can see our position, right? We go to a site expecting to see one thing, and we get there and see another, right?
Yes, sir.
So, the problem with you demolitioning what was there is none of us had a chance to even see what was there.
Yes, sir.
It does look like, to me, it's within the footprint that originally existed. I think the original floor is still there.
Yes, sir.
Is
The
that what I'm
original
seeing? Yeah.
foundation, first floor deck, first floor joist, first floor plywood, everything. Pretty much would have been the exact same house, minus on the first floor now all the existing 2x4s were removed and 2x6s were put in their place. There would have been a lot of padding up and adding on to them because of old windows were being eliminated, new windows were being added. But there are no 2x4 studs on the first floor as there should have been.
Well, I think if I understand this correctly, it seems that the proper path would have been to come to this board first and not just try to do what you're doing.
Yeah, yes, sir. And I brought some information just so the board can, see that there was no malicious intent here. When I did set forth with this project, I ordered windows for it right out of the gate. All the first floor windows were ordered for 2x4 walls. I even brought my passport, if anybody on the board wanted to see the validity of me not being in the country, unfortunately. It was just, there was baseboard heating in the existing house, and I think from the heating, sweating, or maybe drafts or something, the whole plate that the first floor wall sat on was relayed to me that it was rotted out, and they were still going to leave one of the other walls up. And when I came home, like I said, all the walls.
So this wasn't yourself doing the building, you hired a contractor?
Yes, sir. And I will say, unfortunately, I'm not going to have work with them should this project be allowed to continue. You can understand it's been, it's been a huge mistake on my part, first and foremost, but it's been a huge financial setback for me as well.
I'm glad you adhered to the building inspector's stop work order. And,
yes, sir. No,
and
he's
we're
been
here trying to get this straightened out. So
he's been great to work with, and I deeply apologize that I'm before you today.
Okay. Anything else to add?
No, sir. I have all window information should anyone
Okay.
want to see it.
Well, we'll let the board ask some questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, Corinne, we'll start down there with you.
I don't have any questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ken.
I have no questions. You explained it pretty much. Thanks.
Jeff.
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And Ken.
No questions, thank you.
Becky.
So I just wanted to be clear, what is there that was original? Is it anything?
Go ahead.
Yes.
You can answer, yeah.
Yes, Becky, the foundation that is there now was the original foundation on the exact same footprint.
So the foundation was there, but the sill plate, from the sill plate up, everything is brand new?
No, the sill plate is still intact and the first floor joist. So if you can imagine, if we went back 50 years when they were building this house, they did the foundation, put the sill plate, put the joists across, and put the wood on top of it. And then they framed from there up the 2x4 walls. So the 2x4 walls are gone, but the sill plate is there, the joists are there, and all the original floor decking was there. Yes, sir.
The original subfloor is still there.
Okay. All right, so from the foundation up, essentially, it's all new?
Yes, essentially, yeah, just the first floor joist.
Okay.
If, in
And
hindsight,
what did this house look like before? Was it single story?
the house, sorry, I should have said that already. The house before was I guess you'd call it a 1.5 story. It did have a second floor. It was listed as 4 bedrooms. Rich, sorry if I'm wrong, I think it was called a salt box. So it had, instead of your typical gable with both of the roof lines being symmetrical, it had one that was longer than the other, and they were both at different pitches. So they kind of just swung out the roof in the back. So when you went upstairs to the second floor, the bedrooms all within just a couple feet had an immediate drastic drop off from that 10-pitch roof. So what I had done was taken the back of the house pretty much went up 2 stories, and the front of the house only went up 1, and then the roof came down and clipped that off. My plan was just to raise the front of the house and make a full second floor with full ceiling heights for all the rooms up there. And I actually reduced the number of bedrooms as 3 bedrooms. When I purchased it, they listed it as 4. I didn't see how you could call it 4, but it was, and added a bathroom to the second floor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Bob?
Forgive me, I'm a little hard of hearing, and I had trouble hearing you, so
yes,
let me
sir.
kind of go through what I think happened.
Yes, sir.
You had a house there that was 1.5 stories.
Yes, sir.
Somebody knocked the house down to the foundation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did they have a building permit to knock the house down to the foundation?
No, sir. I had a building permit for a second floor addition. And I was going
So you
to,
had a building permit to put on a second-story addition on the house that was standing?
yes, sir.
Okay, but somebody knocked the house down?
Yes, sir. The first floor walls were taken down, which was above and beyond what I was permitted for.
All right,
That-
and you weren't around when that happened?
Unfortunately, I accept all responsibility, but no, I wasn't. Which it's my house and my project.
Okay, now, after the house was knocked down without a building permit, they proceeded to build.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and using that building permit to put an addition on.
Yes, sir.
That's initially a building permit, to put an addition on, right?
Yes, sir.
To put a second floor, well, you already had half a second floor, so you're just gonna fill the other half up, right?
The original building permit, if you could imagine, I was taking the entire second floor off as well as the second joist, and I was going to raise up the first floor wall heights. And then I had said, just for ease, and so it looked right when it was a finished product, I was going to strip all the boards off the outside of the house and re-plywood the house in zip board.
And this person that you hired didn't know that you just wanted to replace the second floor?
He did, yes, sir. That was actually the plan. If you drove by the
But he didn't do that, he replaced the whole house.
Yes, sir. He took down the first floor walls. He called me and stated that he found damage on the sill of the first floor and went over the plan with the,
All right, and when did you file for this? Was it after Rich put the stop build order on there? When did you file to come to this board?
yes, sir. So I had,
I'm trying to get a timeline here.
yes, sir. I received the building permit. I started, it was about a 7-day period. There was a full week, Monday through Friday, and then there was like a Monday, Tuesday. The stop work order might have been delivered on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I was away for the full week. I came home Sunday late night. I went out to the project Monday, or perhaps I was at the fire station Monday, I'm sorry. I went out to the project Tuesday. Wednesday, I was informed there was a stop work order. I had called Rich immediately, and I said, Rich, you know, I just got informed that there was a stop work order, and he said, you cannot take the first floor walls down. I thought I was, I
So
thought,
you hadn't filed for this
no,
application?
no, sir. I truly had not known that those walls coming down and fully being repaired were going to need the special permit. And when
Okay.
Rich explained that to me, he was extremely polite. He actually met me out at the site on his own time again to further go over. We walked through the house, and I showed him what I did, and he said, unfortunately, you were not supposed to take these walls down.
All right, because I have before me, you're asking for a finding to tear down the existing dwelling, but you actually filed this after the existing dwelling was torn down.
Yes,
that
sir,
what
so
I'm
this is,
hearing?
yes, so this is
Okay.
after the fact.
Okay, I just wanted when this was done and what the timeline was.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have no further questions. I fully understand what happened.
Thank you, Bob. And Mr. Vivano, am I saying it right?
Viviano. Yes, sir.
Viviano, sorry. Your plan is to live in this home, or this is a home for sale?
Live in it, or my father has lived in Revere for 60-something years now. He's retiring this year, so he was left his house. Him or I are most likely going to live in it. I lived on Clark Street for some years. Revere has a stipulation you have to be within 10 miles of how the crow flies, so I went back to where my mother lived, to Nahant. But yeah, very well might live there myself.
And I think I heard you earlier, you were not moving forward with the contractor that you were using prior.
No, sir, and he's a good guy that misinformed me, and I was the fool, hence why I'm standing in front of you, to take his advice with, we can just replace these 2x4 studs. They're going in the same spot.
Okay. Well, let me
learned
go.
a valuable lesson.
Yeah, let me go to the building inspector. Rich, does this all sound accurate? Has this been presented to us the way it happened?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to.
Contractor went out, maybe didn't realize what they were doing was wrong, but, again, I told them we like to be consistent. We had one of these on Franklin Street. The homeowner got carried away, and again,
Doing things they weren't permitted for.
yeah.
Correct.
Again, they thought they were doing the right thing, and we sent it to the board to get the proper relief. So, that's where we're at. I think, like most people before you tonight, they suffered a lot.
Yep.
I think the tenants were paid here just in time, and, it is on the same foundation. The first floor joists are there.
Okay.
So,
Okay, any additional questions from the board? I don't have any further.
I do.
Yeah, Corinne, go ahead.
When did the original construction happen? Like month, date, whatever? Like, was it in March? Was it in February?
No, I can tell you.
Looks
almost
like a
to the
purchase date of January, correct?
Yes, January, kind of ironed out my plans. My girlfriend who's here tonight, we went over, what we would love in a house and bounced around some different ideas. I actually drew up the plans myself. We started very beginning of February. Rich had, I'm glad I wasn't paying him by the hour, because I probably took about 5 of his hours up asking him 100 different questions. And, I got to say, one of the worst parts about this was the disappointment in Rich's face, that he felt like I tried to pull a fast one, and, I apologize for that. But to answer your question, it was the beginning of February, and I was dead in the water by the 12th of February.
So nothing has happened on this house then since February?
I just went and cleaned up the site. Honestly, through work, through the fire department, I was out of work for a bit with potentially the coronavirus, so I was kind of just home for a couple months. I went up there not long ago and picked up a lot of the trash and debris. Some contractors have been using the dumpster for their disposal. Just kind of cleaned the place up. But no, not a person on my behalf has stepped foot on the property.
And do you have another contractor lined up? So if we approved it, could you start the project again right away?
Yes, that's the plan, yep.
Okay.
And I have spoke to the neighbors, actually a gentleman that I work hand in hand with. I think he can start at 7. We usually start at 8, wrap up by 4. I spoke to the neighbors just to the right of the house who have lived there for some time, and wonderful people and potentially neighbors of mine. So I really tried to lay on the sword and said, anything I can do to make your life any better, because I know I've made it. I've been a disruption, so.
Okay, well, I think you've suffered enough, and I would vote for this.
Okay, well, hold on, we'll go to the audience. But any other
okay.
questions from the board?
No.
Okay, I'll go out to the public. Anybody here on 29 Brad Street? Yes, Mr. Bradstreet. Hey, that's
That's your street.
your street. Brad Street Ave.
Bradstreet for Bradstreet.
It actually was named after his family.
Bill Bradstreet, town meeting member, precinct 1. I believe what the man is saying, I guess the problem is with the builder who took advantage of the situation. Is somehow, is this builder gonna be held accountable? Is that up to the owner of the property to see to that? Or is the board?
Well, unfortunately, I think the owner's on the hook, right? He hires the builder, right? So it ultimately rests with this gentleman.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Come this way.
If I can address his,
He's getting his exercise.
You really?
Hey, I listen to the big dog. He tells me this is how it's gotta go. I'm setting a precedent here. Any other comments on 29 Brad Street Ave? None. I will come back to the board. Did I start with you, Karen?
Yes,
Okay, now you can speak.
I will vote for this.
Thank you. Ken?
I would vote for this too.
And Jeff?
I will vote for this.
And Ken again.
You know, I find it funny that the builder asked Rich all these questions and pinned him down and asked all these questions, but yet it went ahead and did this anyways. I find that disturbing. I would vote for this. I think he suffered enough through this.
Thank you, Ken. And Becky?
I would vote for this. We don't want a half-built house sitting on that street, so I would vote for it.
Thank you, Becky. And Bob?
I will not vote for this. Something just doesn't smell right here to me.
Thank you, Bob. Well, that lays it at my feet. You know, like I said, honestly, when I pulled up, I was disappointed, right? And
yes, sir.
Sure, just as Rich, when he pulled up, trying to understand, what went wrong, right? And it does ultimately lie with you. However, valuable lesson learned. I mean, you say you're a firefighter, so I think you can understand why buildings need to be inspected and why we have to do things a certain way, right? Because,
yes, sir.
I'm sure any fires you've gone into, a lot of them have been poor building practices or electrical issues, and this is why all of these boards exist and why our building department exists.
Yes, sir.
However, though, I wouldn't say you suffered as more as it's embarrassing. I will vote for it because I want to see the project done. You do already have some tenants living there. There's some bunnies in your backyard, which is all of Danvers right now.
Yes, sir.
But I would encourage you to move quickly. I think your neighbors have suffered to have to look at that dumpster and
Yes, sir.
planks everywhere, and I hope you can really get in there and move. It's been delayed now since February due to a lot of reasons, but mostly because of yourself. So,
Entirely.
if I could get a motion, please.
I move to grant the finding in accordance with section 3.17, 1, 3, and 4 of the Danvers zoning bylaw to tear down the existing dwelling and rebuild on the same foundation.
I have a motion for a finding. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
I move to grant the variance in accordance with section 3.17, section 2, to tear down and rebuild an existing dwelling and add a second floor. The hardship is the size and shape of the lot.
I have a motion for a variance. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right, you pass 4-1. Good luck,
Thank you very
and
much.
I hope it goes well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Couldn't get into
All right, we're coming up to our last case. Just give us a minute, and we'll finish up the evening here.
I can't believe that contracted it.
Okay. Much needed rain.
Should we go ahead? No?
All right, Mr. Clerk, if you could.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our final case of the evening is Robert and Robin Dion, docket number 20-4859, requesting a variance for relief from front and side setbacks to erect 2 additions in accordance with Section 7, Table 2 of the Danvers zoning bylaws at 100 Forest Street. This is zoned R2.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, my name's Michael Terry. I'm from Salem. I'm here on behalf of Robin. She's kind of shy. But
Okay.
we're here to request relief from
If you could just bring that
front
mic up a
and
little.
side setback
Yeah.
to construct a 24 by 28 addition and a mudroom on the other end of the building, which is the main entrance daily. So it goes right into the kitchen, so that mudroom would really help with the clutter.
Okay.
And- yeah.
And this is in R1?
R2, I think.
2.
And the existing house sits at 26 feet, and we originally set the addition back 4 feet, but because of the curb in the street, we didn't make it by 29 feet, the length, by the time
Okay.
we went out. So we said, well, we might as well go for the variance on both items.
Yeah, I think if I remember driving through this neighborhood, I think quite a few homes have done similar.
Yeah, right across the
Thanks.
street, yeah, yep.
Okay.
And it's a nice add-on, because it's 1 story, extends the house, and the main house is really tight inside, and she's been there 16 years, 28 years at Ira Olds, and doesn't plan to leave Danvers.
Okay.
So it's kind of planning for the future with a 1-story master suite with the workout room, which would have been nice now.
Sure, yeah. Okay, is that the extent of it? All right. Why don't we start with you, Bob?
The 2 things we're looking at is the 12.5-foot setback should be 15 feet, correct?
Yeah, on the mudroom side, yeah.
Yeah, and the front should be 30, and you've got 26, right?
26 on the main house, and we're holding the addition back 1 foot, so it offsets the main house, so,
But you're already 24, so,
yeah, all right, 24, all right.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't make the 30, but I don't think much does.
The original doesn't either, though.
No.
Yeah, and this is, Mr. Maloney, just the front steps don't count?
They're exempt.
They have to measure from the side steps?
Right, the front entry is exempt.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
I do have one thing, I wrote up,
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
wrote up draft decision, and on this one, I think I missed it, the finding on the front,
It's a finding?
on the side.
Okay, so for the mudroom, it's a variance, and for the proposed addition on the left, it is a finding. 2-part finding. Thank you. You guys got that?
But there's still a variance.
Still a variance on the mudroom side for the 12.5 feet setback. Okay. Bob, additional questions?
What did he say? The front setback is
Is a
finding?
variant, is a finding, 2-part finding.
Okay,
And the mudroom, right-hand side is a variance.
And the variance.
okay.
And, yeah, so that's the lesser of the 2.
Yeah, I have no further questions.
Thank you, Bob. Becky?
Okay, so we have both side setbacks and the front setback that are not,
No, the left side setback's okay. at
Maybe
15.
15 feet.
Yeah,
okay.
He's R2.
the
Okay.
mudroom.
So it's just the right side
Just the
and the
right,
front.
yeah.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Becky. Ken?
Thank you. I see the setbacks in question. I mean, I don't really have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And Jeff?
Did the applicant entertain any other ideas than cutting into that right setback? I mean, you have a new kitchen going in. You know, a variance is really reserved for no other possible means of getting done what you want to get done. And if your mudroom was somehow at the back of the structure, you wouldn't be cutting into that 15 feet. You know, variances are really have a very high bar.
Yeah, she comes straight up her steps and goes in her house, and that's kind of where the steps, she didn't want to have to go through a gate to get around to the back with groceries and things.
All right, I have no further questions.
Thank you, Jeff. And Ken?
So the height of the proposed addition is how high? Is it like 22 feet or something?
Oh, no, I think the ceilings might be 8, almost 9, and then the peak could be 15, 16. It's below the second story, well, it comes right into the middle of the second story window, so 10, yeah, 20, maybe 22, huh? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I added up from the thing. All right, yeah, that's.
I didn't,
that's all
but
I
it
got.
sits below the other part of the house.
Yeah, it's not.
It's, you know, it's like
It's
a nice,
clearly smaller than the
yeah.
the double, the one next to it, the existing. All right, I have no other questions.
Thank you, Ken. Corinne?
I do not have any questions.
Okay, and Mr. Terry, you're the builder on this?
I will be, yes.
Okay. And
Well, if we get a variance.
this, yeah, the setback currently is 17.4? Is that what I'm seeing? Without this mudroom?
On the side, on the mud?
Yes. On the mudroom side, I'm seeing 17.4.
That's to the existing steps?
That's the existing house.
Oh, the house,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's the steps that,
So you're really looking to cut into this by 5 feet
with the existing.
with adding the mudroom?
Yeah, the steps, I thought like, you know, a 3-foot door, 2-foot closet with room to get in and through.
Okay.
And I think this, I don't know, maybe the steps are 40 inches?
And so the original dwelling, besides adding a mudroom, you're not doing anything, there's already an overhang there, is that what I'm seeing? The 2-foot overhang?
On the front,
Or would that be added as part of this construction?
there'd be a roof over it.
Okay, so that is added, okay. And what's this square footage? 28 by 24. Do any board members have additional questions? I'm just trying to calculate the square footage here. Times 24. 672 square feet.
Times one.
Is the deck existing on the back?
Yeah, Dave had looked at that before. It's been there since she bought the house.
The note on the drawing says, I didn't fill out, I don't remember the application, so. The note on the drawing says that deck is existing in the back?
Yeah. There was a pool there, and the pool came out of the record book.
He's talking about the 22.9 setback, Rich? To the deck?
Well, the note on this drawing says the deck is existing
Yes.
on the architectural plan. It's not clear on the plot plan.
Okay.
So if the deck is not conforming, then it's not a variance on the right side, it's a finding all.
His application says that the deck is existing for the entrance to the kitchen.
I mean, both this plan and the site plan have existing on it, this and this.
This just doesn't.
I didn't really go back there.
Can you go back there?
I didn't go to the rear of the house, but I just looked from the front.
Yeah, I didn't go to the back.
I did too.
So if the deck's existing, then that right side is on a variance.
It's also a finding then.
Correct.
So this is all handled under a two-part finding, no,
Two-part finding.
No variance
So no
needed.
variance.
Okay. Any additional questions from the board? All right, out to the audience.
Any exercise?
I don't know. He only did 2 laps. I don't want to burn him out. Oh, yeah, into the mic, please. Okay, no questions from the public. We'll come back. Did I start with Bob? You have to help me, people.
You did.
All right, Bob, let it rip.
What?
Go ahead, comments.
Oh, yeah.
Deliberations.
I will vote for this.
Will or will not?
Will.
Will, thank you. Becky?
I'll vote for this.
All right, and Ken?
I have no problem with this.
Thank you. Jeff?
Yeah, I have a small problem with it, but I don't have any problem with the big addition on the left because it seems to be less encroaching than the original dwelling. And if the deck is there, that kind of makes a big difference because,
It's now we're finding, right? Yeah.
well, not only that, but the existing side setback, there'll be a lot less change than if you're going all the, it says going 17 to the house, and then there's this dimension 12.5. But in reality, it's probably only like 13 to the existing deck the way it is, so
Yeah.
it's a lot less,
Yeah.
it's a lot less,
Less of a threshold.
more detrimental, let's put
Yes.
it, yeah. So I will vote for this.
Thank you. And Ken?
I would vote for this too.
Thank you, Ken. And Corinne?
I would vote for this.
Okay, and I too would vote for this. I think it's in keeping with that neighborhood. And we did advertise, I guess, as a variance, but because finding it's a lesser of the evil, we're good. Excellent, okay. So if somebody could tackle this, it won't be in Rich's excellent notes here, because we're gonna need a 2-part finding.
Okay, let's see if I can do this from memory.
A little rusty, Bob?
I find that the proposal as presented increases the nonconformity.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Second part?
I find that the proposal is not substantially detrimental,
More detrimental.
more detrimental than what presently exists.
Second.
I've got another motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Now, what do we do about the variance? Nothing?
We will not act on the variance,
Do
correct?
we
Not needed.
Not needed.
dismiss it, or
Could I get a motion to dismiss the variance?
so moved?
And a second.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the variance? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Danvers, good night. We'll see you in a couple weeks. I think we did
Motion to
okay.
dismiss.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, can I get a motion, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.
Good night, Danvers.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
That went well.